Hydro City or Hydrocity? Definitely, Hydro City. How come you're so sure? Well, that's because Hydrocity is not a word, not a word, not a word. Hydrocity is not a word, not a word, not a word. Hydrocity is not a word, my fair lady.
Hey yo, what's up guys? Gamer Guide here, and yo, I'm getting annoyed of these breadcrumb news, man. Like, I actually made a video earlier this week, then I trashed it because, I couldn't be bothered about it because we got more news, so that video already aged. Like, that's the problem with breadcrumb news. It's like, you gotta report on it now before a day passes, 2 days passes, and it gets old and irrelevant. So yeah, and I knew this month was going to be very much dead because last month we just got a plethora of Sonic Frontiers news every other day. So I knew that this month it was going to be very dry, but it's okay because I've been very busy lately anyways. But yeah, man, these bits and pieces of news we've been getting is annoying me. It's annoying the hell out of me because it's like, bring on the juicy leaks again. I miss the leaks, and I know you guys love watching me report on leaks, especially when it comes to the story. I've noticed, judging by my views and engagement, that when I talk about the plot, the stories, Sonic Rose, so naming all that, I get the max views on that because you guys obviously care about the story of Sonic Frontiers way more than the gameplay. I could tell. I did a poll on it and most of you voted on the story, which is great because this time we're actually going to get a decent story since Flynn is working on the dialogue. So I promise you guys, anytime I get some exciting news and information leaks on the story, I will definitely report on it, because I know this game has much more to uncover judging by the length of the story. I mean, the game is going to be like 20 plus hours. That's the longest 3D Sonic game ever made, if arguably the longest Sonic game ever made. So I know they're hiding a lot. And that's cool. I actually don't want them to spoil, because I love Generations, but the one thing I hated about that game was they spoiled everything. They spoiled all the eras, every single level. So by the time I got the game, I knew I was going to play 9 levels, throughout the eras as classic and modern Sonic, But anyway, speaking of story, we got some stuff to discuss. But before I do, be sure to smash that like button, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let's see if we can get to 100k subs this year before the year is over. I was going to say before Sonic Frontiers comes out, but now we know that Sonic Frontiers is not coming out in December. It's coming out earlier than that because it has been leaked officially by Steam that Sonic Frontiers is coming out November 8th, 2022. It's been leaked here, right here on Steam. So if we read the Sonic Frontiers Twitter page, it says here, the Steam DB page for Frontiers has been recently updated. The information we got from it is added de novo, added Steam achievements, full controller and Steam Cloud support, release date November 8th, probably a placeholder, but we're definitely getting it November 8th. If you guys realize, a lot of the previous Sonic games, we've always gotten it in early November, with the exception of Lost World. I think we had that like late October, but since like as far back as I can remember, we've always gotten Sonic games early November. November is usually the month where Sonic game releases. Sonic Forces, Sonic Generations, Sonic Colors, Unleashed, 06. As far back as I can remember, official Sonic games always come out in November. So that's pretty cool, and a lot of people are upset about de novo being in Frontiers. I don't know when Sega's going to learn not to put de novo in their games, but Sega doesn't care. As a company, they just care about your wallets and your money. And I'm sure the modders can remove that. But alright, now back to the story of Sonic Frontiers. Now, Sonic Frontiers will apparently take the series narrative to new heights, according to Nintendo Life. Now, I know you guys enjoy my Frontiers vids more when it's about lore, plot, and story, like I said before. So, unless it's something new or cool like Hypersonic, or the villain being a child or whatever, it gets boring talking about Sonic gameplay only. Especially that is the one thing a majority of people are the most skeptical on in Sonic Frontiers. But the story sounds the most interesting because of Flynn, like I said earlier. Now, Flynn actually knows Sonic characters. He didn't do research on the Sonic characters via Wikipedia like Pontac and Graf did. So yeah, we're going to read that. But first, before I do, it has been confirmed by Iizuka that we're getting no Chao Garden. So yeah, we finally got the confirmation. So no more speculating, we're getting Chao Garden. I kind of figured after I saw the Cocos and I talked about it in my previous video, once they were revealed, the likelihood of there being a Chao Garden was very slim. It's whatever to me anyways. I don't care about the Chao Garden because I never really played it. in Sonic Adventure 1 or 2. So let's read this Nintendo Life article because not a lot of people actually covered it. In a piece by Game Informer, it's been revealed that Sonic Team is hoping the latest entry will elevate the series' overarching narrative to new heights and transcend the usual good guys versus bad guys scenario that's been the focal point of the franchise up till now. Now, up till now, I have never heard interviews describing Sonic stories like this. So they're really ambitious with Sonic Frontier's story now, and I have faith it's going to deliver way more than Forces ever did. In order to achieve this, Sonic Team has taken on longtime Sonic the Hedgehog comics writer Ian Flynn, who has been a key figure for both the Archie comics and IDW publishing runs of Sonic the Hedgehog. In speaking with Game Informer, Sonic Team's creative officer said the following of Flynn's recruitment. Ian has been working as a comic writer for a long time, so I was very familiar with his work. But after reading the IDW comics, I was even more impressed with his talent. That's why I wanted to ask him to work on the story for the game as well. He knows the characters well, so he brought a great improvement to the characters' emotions and dialogue. It's like, I still don't understand why it took Sega this long to hire Ian Flynn. I mean, better late than never, but it's still mind-boggling to me. Flynn hopes that by introducing more nuance to the characters and weaving in plot points from previous Sonic titles, he can help Sonic Frontiers appeal to long-term fans despite its drastic change in overall tone and structure. The previous quote was Iizuka talking, now it's Ian Flynn talking. I'm a career Sonic nerd, so I wanted to weave some of the series' legacy into the story. I wanted to advance the characters' personal stories, even if just by a little bit. I also wanted to bring some interconnectivity to the previous games. There isn't anything that will be too dense for new fans to wade through, but just enough for long-term fans to appreciate. One thing I noticed about Ian Flynn's writing is that he always likes to connect to a lot of previous stories to make everything feel very connected and, you know, like canon, and for everything to flow right, if you know what I mean. Like, there's a connective tissue with the way he writes. I love it. I mean, for what it's worth, Pontaff and Graf, they kind of did that too. Like, Sonic would reference things in the past, but they would literally be tongue-in-cheek. You know, like when he tells tales that, oh, it's no stranger than genies coming out of books or Interstellar Amusement Park. Or like when he told Classic Sonic, it's been generations since I've seen you. It's just been those, you know, cheesy or cringy little one-liners. But like, Ian Flynn actually delves deep into the past and history and connects everything and gives it respect. The only negative thing I can really give Ian Flynn, and I notice this a lot in the comics, is that he quotes a lot from songs, from previous Sonic songs, and then it gets a bit cheesy at times. Like when, I think, was it Neo Metal Sonic or something in the first saga in IDW Comics when he says, "Let me show you what I'm made of," or "Show me what you made of," or when Sonic tells Neo, "I never fear the fall," or stuff like that, quoting from songs, or like doing it my way, my own way. Like, it was cool at first, but he does that a lot. You know, he tends to do that a lot, and it's like, yo, we get it. You know, it's from this song. Like, I want more original lines than just lines from songs. So I hope he doesn't do that too much in the games, because doing it in the games will be really cheesy. Like, in the comics it's cool because you're reading it, but to actually hear it in the games will be like, yo, what? So, I mean, I have faith, though, that he won't do that too much. Now, Game Informer goes on to explain that while you're exploring Kronos Island, the game's primary setting, Sonic himself will make comments to himself that will reference characters and events from previous titles, including wondering if Kronos Island would make a suitable location for a new Chow Garden. Indeed, this particular example may prove irksome for some, as it's been previously confirmed that no Chow Garden will feature in Sonic Frontiers. Yeah, bummer. According to Sonic Frontiers director Morio Kishimoto, the game might also end up being quite different in Japan from a narrative perspective, as the Sonic franchise has proven to be significantly more popular in the West. The Mega Drive pretty much tanked in Japan, coming behind the SNES and PC Engine. The translation from Ian Flynn's writing will be adjusted to appeal to the Japanese market. Here's what Kishimoto-san had to say. I used the translation of Ian Flynn's story as a base and rewrote the Japanese to better suit the Japanese market, since Sonic is not as well known as a character here in Japan when compared to how popular and known he is abroad. Many Japanese children grow up reading manga, watching anime, watching the live-action suit hero shows, or watching Japanese movies, so the whole culture and entertainment familiarity in Japan is different from the West. So we needed to make some adjustments for our audience. Now, we all know this, that Sonic is more popular in the West than he is in Japan and the East. And, you know, since Sonic Adventure, translations have always been quite different from the English dub of the Sonic characters and then the Japanese dub. And many times the Japanese dub is better. Like, even Sonic Adventure 1, because there's miscommunications with the team, it didn't dub right in English, and that's part of the reason why the dialogue was so janky and the sound mixing was so janky. But in Japanese, I heard it's better and it flows better. And then most recent game, Sonic Forces. The story was still bad, the game was still overall bad, but the story was at least a bit better in Japanese than in English. You know, at least the Sonic characters took themselves more seriously and didn't crack as many jokes or, you know, try to downplay something serious or make meta jokes. Whereas in the English dub, they still did that. So that's been very frustrating, especially during the Pontaff era. So I hope that's not going to be the case this time. And I hope it's still going to be pretty close with the Japanese dub. Now, despite this, there are hopes within Sonic Team that Frontiers will break through the Japanese market thanks to the fresh implementation of the open zones. It'll also be interesting to see how the regional variations differ from one another. So if you're fluent in both English and Japanese, you might want to check out both versions and see for yourself. Well, I mean, I can always play the game in sub and see how it differs from the English dub. Now, remember my other previous video where I talked about the dark story of Sonic Frontiers on how, like, rumor has it that, you know, it's going to retcon the franchise and, like, Sonic's been living in a digital reality? Now, this can actually work. Ian Flynn can pull off this story if they make it emotional like Klonoa Door to Phantom Isle. Now, I know a lot of you are not aware of Klonoa, or if you do, you never played the games, but I played the first game. I got the Fantasy Reverie series, or whatever you call it, the remasters, and I played the first game, Door to Phantom Isle. That game is sad, yo. It is so sad, especially the end. Klonoa finds out that basically the whole game is Klonoa and Hupo, or Hupao, and Klonoa finds out, Hupao tells him that he does not exist in his reality at all. He's actually fake. He belongs in another world, and Hupao brought him over to his world to help him defeat, what's his name again? Ghadius, who was like, he's like a nightmare type of villain. So basically Hupao brought over Klonoa to fight Ghadius and restore balance to his world. But in order to make Klonoa, you know, cooperate with him, he basically gave Klonoa fake memories to make Klonoa feel like he grew up in that world throughout his life and has always been friends with Hupao. So he told Klonoa that in the very end, and Klonoa is like in disbelief, like, no, what? I thought this is my home. Because Klonoa also had his grandpa. He grew up with his grandpa there. So that one, I don't even know how that works. Klonoa has to return to his world, so he gets sucked back into his world and he's crying and everything. It's just so emotional. You guys, if you haven't played the game, you need to play it or at least read it, the story on Wikipedia or something. But they could definitely make that work in a Sonic Frontiers game, you know? Like, I know the difference between Klonoa and Sonic is that was Klonoa's first ever game. So the second game didn't even connect to the first one. It just built on some other lore. But with Sonic Frontiers is basically, it might retcon all of Sonic's entire history, which a lot of people don't like. So I can understand that, but we'll just have to wait and see. You know, this is very risky if Sega does that, and I hope they make it work. Alright guys, that wraps it up for today. So what do you think? Do you think Sonic Frontiers narrative will elevate the series to new heights? And are you looking forward to playing the game? And also, what are you guys more interested in, the story or the game? I know majority of my viewers and my subs are more interested in the story, but I just want to hear what you guys have to say. Let me know down in the comments below. But that's all I got for now, so take care, and until next time, I'm out.